All right, here's Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts making the walk for his 12th UFC appearance. He does so with momentum, having won 2 in a row. Ended a 2-year layoff against Ramazan Amib last October. That was a win. And he was just so thoughtful with us earlier this week. He feels like mentally, physically, he has direction and focus, and he is ready to produce tonight against a fairly big name, Joe.
Well, he's an excellent striker, and that's what makes this fight so exciting to me, is that he's a tall, long guy for the division, and Trinaldo is a guy who's fought at 155 pounds before. Now currently fighting at 70, but this guy, Danny Roberts, is not going to make 155 pounds. He's a bigger guy, bigger, longer, and he's got legitimate knockout power, and he feels like that time off, the time that he took off before he returned, that helped him put it all together. It helped him piece all the pieces together and just make his overall game much more fluid and dynamic.
You know, when you look at Danny Robertson, when talking to him, I asked him, I said, what has this change been like? What has allowed for you to become this guy that is so well thought, that pieces your thoughts together so well? He goes, it's my time away. You know, he's grown as a human being, which has in turn made him to be a better fighter, or at least in his opinion. I said, well, Francisco's 43. How do you not overlook that? He goes, honestly, I see it the exact opposite. The fact that he can still be here, winning fights, I commend that. And I take him more serious because of it. He understands the threat that is in front of him tonight.
Yo, turn my shit up a little bit.
Making the walk for his 25th UFC appearance, and by the way, he's a shiny 17-7 in the octagon. Masaran Duba. Translation, Brazilian Redwood, Francisco Trinaldo. I remember watching his UFC debut that Rogan called back in 2012 when he knocked out Delson Heleno, and thinking, man, this dude's got power, he's got skills on the ground as well. And tonight, resuming his welterweight quest, Daniel, against Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts.
You know, the fact that Trinaldo is still competing, like I said, man, it truly is hard to understand, because I know how I feel every single morning. He is my age and still fighting the best in the world. That tells you what type of athlete that this man is. And he still has an ability to make every fight, no matter who the opponent is, look ugly and get his hand raised.
Ugly. This nigga ugly, man.
All right, back live in Phoenix. That is Francisco Trinaldo in the inspection zone. Tonight's Fighting Spirit stats are sponsored by Cerveza Modelo. Trinaldo's been there and done that. 25th UFC start tonight. Tied for 4th most in UFC lightweight wins with 15. He is now 1-1 at 170 pounds, Joe. He's got a lot of different ways to beat you. We'll see what he has for Roberts tonight. The
ageless wonder. I mean, the man, you can look at his age at 43 years of age and go, wow, that's kind of old to be a fighter. Or you can look at the way he fights, and it's not a factor. It is not a factor. The man does not get tired. He fights with excellent aggression, technique. I mean, he is a legit killer. And you better respect that, because if you go into this octagon thinking you're fighting a 43-year-old man, you're going to wind up with a flashlight in your eyes talking to the doctor. Right. This man can strike. He's been in it for a long time, and he's fought the majority of his career against top-flight competition inside the octagon.
Roberts talked a lot about his mental and spiritual evolution. More on that as the fight continues. Now, though, we get you the tail of the tape for our featured prelim of the night. Francisco Trinaldo will be 44 in August, second oldest on the roster at present. Danny Roberts is 34, 4 inches the gap in height. You see a 4-inch reach advantage for Danny Roberts. That tail of the tape brought to you by Toyo Tires, the official tire of UFC. Pick'em fight on the odds. Here now for the intros is Bruce.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting